seen glorious blind eyes, deaf ears, wheelchairs, standing straight, no more crutches. I thank God for all that. I would love to see it myself. I've seen it. Amen. But I believe when spiritual blind eyes are open, when spiritually deaf ears are open, come on now, when all the crutches and excuses you have, you can walk straight. Come on now. Y'all know the crutches become excuses. Excuses is crutches. Come on now. He said, all flesh should see it together. Together. Because that's what the glory does. It brings things together. It brings what? Things together. There's a harmony in your life. And he says, I'm not going to do anything extra special because all flesh should see it together. Because the mouth of the Lord has said it. All flesh should see it. Now we postpone this to being his second coming. All flesh is going to see him. I don't know how that's going to happen naturally. Because you got some parts of the globe that's up and some are asleep. Come on, all right? It's going to be a mass marketing genius to get everybody. I mean, I'm not talking about being from the East Coast to the Pacific Coast. That's a 3-hour swing. I'm talking about being here and then Africa is 7 hours ahead of us. So it's not, we still thinking that we interpret things carnal. And Hollywood has told us a lot of different stuff. That Hollywood, along with some blind mice, Darby, Larkin, and Schofield, 3 blind mice that the messed up eschatological slant that most of us suffer from. We're sobering up now. Amen. All flesh shall see it together. All flesh. See, it used to be a time only Jews could see it. We're coming to a time that all flesh is going to be able to see it. Jew and Gentile. Am I right? All flesh. Weak, the despised, the rejected, the dope dealer, the craziest one in your family. Come on now. The knuckleheads. Uncle Brutus. The trouble starter. Come on now. The ones that's rubbing us, he said, all flesh. Why? Because he wants the open manifestation. All the hard places. Come on now. The mountain and hills. He wants that to be able to perceive with an open manifestation, which the only thing can bring an open manifestation is the glory of God. We need glory. I told you some time ago, the goal of intimacy is to have the manifestation of his presence and power. We need his power. His power is not to do magnanimous stuff. His power is to live right. Saints of old had some things right. You know, when you get the power, you ain't trying to go about and trying to be visible and seen and recognized as the next new thing on the block. It takes power to make decisions. It takes power to submit to God. It takes power, amen, to tell other folks no. I mean, you got to have some power. If you're in certain circles, you got to say, no, I'm not. That's power.
Right.
Everybody want to be glorious and powerful and want the praises of men. We need to understand that if God's going to have an open manifestation, it's not going to be widespread, but it's going to flow out of intimacy. Open manifestation is going to come out of intimacy. The reason some of y'all stuffy and don't get the manifestation of some of your promises because you lack intimacy. Then you got the other side of it, because that pendulum swings wide. Then you got the ones that's over here that's intimate with them all the time, trying to figure out where it's at. But there's still some ways trusting an arm of the flesh, because they're trying to get brownie points. Because if I pray long enough, if I study long enough, if I get intimate long enough, worship long enough, then he's going to do what he said he's going to do. What the results is up to him. And I told you before, I don't do it because I have to. See, if you're in the have to stage, that's probably your problem. It's works, performance. When you get into from duty to devotion, it's love. I just want to be here. I just want to get to know you. I just want you to inscribe your passions in my heart. I just want to know you deep. I don't want to just go through the motions. I don't want to have a form of godliness. and denying the power thereof. I want you to do what you said you would do through me, with your work, with your hand, with your power. That's what I want. And I think that's what we got to have here. He wants to water the dry places. He wants to bring forth his life and joy where we had thoughts of gloom and doom. That's his goal. That's the New Testament. It's full of expectations. Am I right? A better covenant with better promises. He didn't, like I was put in the group, we weren't born again to suffer again. Amen. You suffered long enough. Am I right? I know we suffer for righteousness' sake. I know it, but it's a whole other level of suffering. In the old way, in the old man suffering, I never knew what the day holds. I didn't have any expectation. I just wanted to make it. In the New Testament, in the new man, I understand there's a goal at the end of this stuff. That he's working in me something that is far more exceeding and eternal and weight of glory. Even though I'm suffering, he has something set aside for me. I may not have all the definitions. I may not know everything about what's coming. But I have just enough hope that I'm going to cast away my confidence. Just enough hope to say, you know what? The end of the thing is better. So he wants to open manifestation. He wants to remove the gloom and the doom in our thinking. He wants to lift us up out of our low valleys. And he wants to teach us to meet him in the high places of his spirit. He has made our crooked places straight. In spite of we have believed the lies that have been taught by religious interpretation. But he wants to bring light and life in our hearts and in our minds. He wants to change our perspective altogether and make us to know that we are his inheritance. You talk about having an open manifestation, you understand that sin consciousness is erased. You understand that there's nothing you can get. You can't twist his arm. You can't get him to do anything extra. He's done what he's going to always do for you and in you. Amen? So we've inherited this new life where all the stigma and the bruising and the being battered and being turned upside down is removed. The consternation, the stagnation. Yes. When we understand the voice that's speaking to him, we recognize that he wants to reveal his glory to all flesh, including you. Even when the enemy tell you you can't do it, you can't make it, he wants to reveal his glory to you. Amen? It's by allowing him and his person to operate in you so that he can live out his life through you. And if we can allow his glory, that's what it means, for him to live his life through us. That's what glory is. That's what the power is all about, him manifesting his life through us. It'll remove us from the dysfunction of trying to live for him. Because we are set apart from the dysfunction of trying to live the Christian life by our own effort and expectations. That's when the mountains are brought down. That's when the valleys are raised. That's when the crooked places are made straight. That's when, oh boy, the rough places are made plain. When you understand that I'm not trying to prove anything. It's when you know you've been empowered to function as God intended by the indwelling dynamic of the life of Christ in you. The Spirit of Christ in you. That is the revelation of his glory in you. But the religious person would not accept the truth of our union with him. So most places, they still have, you go to service and it's still mountains, valleys, crooked places, and rough places. Now come on now. A constant download of negativity. But if we ever see his glory, our trajectory, our perceptions, and our awareness will change. But the religious person won't accept this. The religious person wants to have everything in doctrine. In fact, this is what I wrote. The religious person has doctrine in place of life and cannot tell the difference. They think they get life from the doctrine. You don't get life from the doctrine. You get his life, and then the doctrine comes to confirm it. Doctrine brings alignment, but it's out of intimacy that life comes. You don't get life in a Sunday and a Wednesday service. You get an opportunity. It's an introduction. It's not the consummation. But if the doctrine, the teacher don't bring the confirmation to your intimacy. Get what I'm saying? I used to love it when I used to go to the Royal Faith Center. I didn't know when the apostle was going to preach, get there and find out he preaching some of the stuff I got in the secret place. I said, ooh, thank you, Jesus. He was, I was still happy. He had my ears on. Like, oh, thank you. I know the person next to me is like, what's wrong with Brother Steve? Because you just don't know. He wasn't in the closet with me, in the secret place. God just spoke to me. That's the way it should be. We should be able to come and not necessarily to be filled like we don't have anything, but to be filled in Scripture is a completion. It don't mean you're completely empty. It just means that it comes to enhance what you carry. Bring clarity. Out of that clarity comes the conviction. Amen? But religious persons won't accept this. Too many people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. They don't understand that God is desiring to bring an open manifestation. They don't understand that their purpose is His presence, that their goal is His glory. They don't understand this. And too many of us we need to wake up so that we can begin to live the very life that Jesus promised us, to live holy and righteous, not a slave to sin, not continually missing the mark. We don't have to always walk like we ain't got no shepherd. We have no direction, instruction. You know what I'm saying? We live aimlessly.